You've heard the fantasy, beautiful accent, dry wit, emotionally composed, the perfect woman. But what if everything you think you know about British women is exactly what destroys you? What if the politeness is a trap, the composure is a weapon, and by the time you figure out the rules, you've already lost? Stay with me, because nobody warned me about any of this, and nobody is going to warn you either. You're 31, remote job, decent apartment, coffee machine that costs more than your first car. Life is fine, comfortable, predictable in a way that should bother you more than it does. Then your company sends you to a 3-day conference in London, and she's sitting across from you at a panel discussion on market strategy. Blazer, that means business. Expression that says she's already 4 steps ahead of everyone in the room, including the speaker. She laughs once at something the moderator says, not a polite laugh, a real one, quick and dry, like she caught an absurdity nobody else noticed. You notice her noticing it. That's how it starts. Her name is Charlotte. She works in finance, drinks her tea without sugar, has opinions about everything from economic policy to why your airport paperback reveals more about your character than you'd like. By the second evening, she's made you feel simultaneously smarter and deeply underprepared. You go home with her number and the distinct feeling that something has shifted. You're right, you just don't know in which direction yet. 6 months of long distance, flights, time zones, expensive phone bills. The kind of effort that either kills something or makes it undeniable. It makes it undeniable. You propose on a Tuesday in her kitchen. She says yes in the most British way possible. Lovely. Just lovely. No screaming, no tears, a smile that could power a city, and the word lovely. You will spend the next several years learning that lovely contains multitudes. Your friends back home lose their minds. A British woman. Mate, you've made it. They picture rolling countryside, charming accent, emotional stability. They are not wrong about the accent. They are catastrophically wrong about everything else. The first warning arrives during wedding planning. You suggest something casual, a nice restaurant, close friends. Keep it simple. She looks at you with the patience of someone explaining gravity to a golden retriever. Her family has attended the same church since 1987. Her great-aunt Edna has feelings about venues that border on ecclesiastical law. You agree to the church because you are in love and because the look Charlotte gives you when you suggested the restaurant has genuinely frightened you. Then the guest list. You offer 50 people. She needs 180 because her mother has been maintaining a social ledger since 1994 and certain omissions would cause damage that no amount of time could repair. Not being invited to a British wedding isn't just an oversight. It is a declaration of war conducted through silence and pointed comments at every future gathering for the next decade. The seating chart takes 3 weeks. There are cousins who cannot sit near other cousins due to an incident at a christening in 2011 that nobody will explain directly, but everyone references in a tone suggesting it was either a minor argument or an actual crime. You stop asking, you start nodding. This is your first real lesson in British conflict resolution. Nothing is ever addressed, everything is remembered. The menu tasting nearly breaks you. Charlotte's uncle eats neither gluten nor anything that casts a shadow. Her father expects roast beef because it is August and tradition cares nothing for seasons. You suggest a contemporary menu. Charlotte's mother smiles and says that's a fun idea in a tone that means it will absolutely not be happening. The bill arrives. You stare at it for a long time. You pay it. Her mother tells you weddings are an investment in family unity. You are apparently funding a small nation's diplomatic infrastructure. The wedding itself is genuinely beautiful. The church is centuries old. The light comes through stained glass at an angle that makes everything look like a painting. Charlotte walks down the aisle and you forget every seating chart argument, every roast beef negotiation, every cousin incident from 2011. She looks at you like you are the only sensible thing in the room. Then the reception reveals its true nature. The speeches are not speeches. They are theatrical productions with footnotes. Her father goes 25 minutes. He has notes. He has a story about Charlotte at age 7 that makes the entire room cry, then laugh, then cry again. Your best man apologizes 3 times within 7 minutes for things that don't require apology. He has absorbed the atmosphere and is now operating on British social frequencies without realizing it. The dancing situation requires explanation. There is no dancing, there is standing, there is swaying. Circles of people holding drinks, conducting conversations at a volume suggesting mild inconvenience rather than celebration. You attempt to start something on the dance floor at 9. People look at you like you've started clapping at a funeral. Charlotte catches your eye. Her expression says, "Not yet." You retreat. At precisely 10:30, after enough wine, something loosens. You are early by 90 minutes. This is obvious to everyone but you. The bar closes at midnight. Not last call, closed, done, finished. Your friend from back home grabs your arm and asks where the after party is. There is no after party. There is a queue for taxis conducted in alphabetical calmness while people discuss motorway traffic. Your friend looks like a man who has been told Christmas is canceled. You tell him to get in the taxi. This is just how it works here. You move into Charlotte's flat in South London. The washing machine is in the kitchen, not near it, in it. The shower has 2 separate taps because apparently scalding and freezing are the only acceptable temperatures. There is no air conditioning. You raise this in July when the flat hits 31 degrees and Charlotte is on the sofa in a light jumper looking perfectly comfortable. She explains it's only a few days a year. You are lying on the floor with frozen peas on your face. It is not a few days. Then the communication style nearly finishes you. Charlotte says she's fine. She is not fine. You ask what's wrong. Nothing is wrong. The nothing is wrong is delivered with an energy that suggests everything is structurally compromised. You're supposed to know what you did. The knowing is not optional. It is the baseline expectation. You come from a place where people say the thing. Here, the thing is never said. The thing is implied, radiated, communicated through tone and silence, and a very specific look that means you have approximately 45 minutes to identify and correct the issue before it enters the permanent record. You try to make friends with the neighbors. You smile. You say good morning. They look at you like you've done something mildly illegal. Charlotte explains you need to build up to words. Eye contact first, then a nod. Then, after perhaps 6 months, a comment about the weather. You have violated the sequence. The neighbors now believe you are either American or unstable. Given the overlap, this is not unreasonable. Work in London operates on weaponized politeness. Your manager says there's no rush on a project to have a little look when you get a moment. You finish it 3 days later. It was needed immediately. The no rush was grammatical decoration. You learn to translate. That's one way to approach it means your idea is wrong. Interesting means bad. With respect contains 0 respect. Quite good is the highest professional praise you are likely to receive. A colleague tells you your presentation was very brave. You thank him. Charlotte, when you relay this at dinner, puts down her tea and looks at you. Very brave means it was a disaster. You think about the 40 people in that room. You close your eyes. Charlotte begins teaching you the code in the evenings. You look well means weight gain. Cozy means small. I'll think about it as a permanent no, wearing the costume of consideration. You start understanding that British people feel everything intensely and express it sideways, through implication and understatement and a humor so dry it takes 3 full seconds to realize you've been quietly destroyed. Months pass. The quirks stop being obstacles. They become texture. You develop firm opinions about supermarket meal deals. Someone cuts the queue at the post office and you tut audibly. Your transformation is nearly complete. You are sitting in a pub garden in June, jacket on because it is 17 degrees, drinking a pint at 2 in the afternoon, complaining about weather that is identical to yesterday's. Charlotte looks at you and gives you a small smile. Not a big smile, a British one. The kind that contains entire sentences of unsaid affection. You've stopped translating everything in your head. The sarcasm flows naturally now. You say cheers to the bus driver. You apologize when someone else bumps into you. You have become fluent in the language of shared misery disguised as humor. 8 months in, you fly home for your cousin's wedding. You land and the heat wraps around you like something you'd forgotten. The airport is loud, everyone moves with a directness you realize somewhere in your chest you've been missing. Your brother hasn't stopped talking since before you were fully in the car. No subtext, no implication, just sentences at full force about nothing in particular. It is the most relaxed you have felt in months. Dinner at your parents' house. Your mother has cooked enough for a moderately sized reception. Your father asks what you think about something in the news, a direct question requiring a direct answer. You start to balance perspectives. You reference complexity. You say on the one hand, he cuts you off. Just tell me what you think. You pause. You realize you've forgotten how to do that. You've been so deep in the art of the qualified statement that the unqualified one feels reckless now. You tell him what you actually think. He disagrees directly. It resolves in 4 minutes. You sit with this for a long time. Your best friend pulls you aside at the wedding and asks genuinely if you're happy. You think about the washing machine in the kitchen, the 2 taps, the neighbors you are not yet permitted to speak to, very brave. You think about all of it. And then you think about the other things, the way Charlotte reads, seriously, constantly, with a focus that makes distraction feel embarrassing. The way she talks about things she cares about quietly, but with a precision that makes you realize most people, yourself included, have never thought that hard about anything. The way her humor catches you completely off guard, still, where she says one thing with a straight face and it takes you 2 full seconds and then you're gone, completely undone. The way she showed up when your job fell apart last spring, no performance of sympathy, no hollow reassurance. She sat across from you and asked what needed doing and then helped you do it. She didn't tell you it would be fine, she helped make it fine. You didn't fully understand the difference until then. You tell your friend you're happy, you mean it, you fly back on a Sunday. The city appears below through gray cloud, compact and entirely itself. Something settles in your chest that you don't have a clean word for. Relief is part of it. Recognition is the rest. Charlotte picks you up from the station. She looks at you in that way she has, quick and complete, asks how it was. Good, you say, loud. She smiles. Good, loud, she says, like it's a category. You take her hand in the car and she doesn't make anything of it, which is somehow more than making something of it. That night over tea, which you now make correctly, you try to explain what happened back home, how you felt foreign in the familiar, how you're not sure what you are anymore or where you're from in any way that matters. She listens without interrupting. When you finish, she's quiet for a moment. Nobody warns you about that part, she says. Becoming someone who fits nowhere completely. No, nobody does. She picks up her tea. Outside, London goes on quietly in the rain, keeping its own counsel. You wouldn't have it any other way. You just wish someone had warned you. And if you think navigating a British woman's emotional subtext is complicated, wait until you hear what happens when you marry a French one. The rules don't just change, they disappear entirely. That one is coming next. And trust me, you are not ready. If you felt we create engaging video, please do subscribe our channel and click on the bell icon to stay tuned.